Hello guys, Trinson here. Today I'll be reading some more r/entitled parents. You guys know how much I love finding stories about relatives being entitled cause I found a vid. And one of them is really horrible. Anyways, enjoy. I don't put on FORTNITE for my cousin. My aunt destroys my disinfectant stuff. Ah yes, another story featuring my entitled ass aunt and no longer entitled cousin. So here's a backstory. I love staying clean. Disinfectant, hand wash, that antibacterial stuff that they have at the hospitals. Yes, please, I'll take that. But I also love viruses. Well, one from movies and games, like the Reaper virus from Blade, the Solanum virus from World War Z. I really need to read the books it's based off. I love them. It interests me because of how fast and how easy they spread. At the time this happened, I was watching a video about a parody virus from the X-Files, and the video went into Mr. Chuckletooth, also from the X-Files. Now, Mr. Chuckletooth is creepy as fuck, not the scariest one though, that goes to the fluke man, so yeah, he will scare a child. My aunt also has a habit of walking into our house and drop my cousin off with his loud-ass Nerf guns and an extra Xbox controller. As if he was playing with my Xbox, he broke his own cause he died too much on FORTNITE. If you can tell by the title and the little paragraph there, he was obsessed with FORTNITE at the start of the year. He was one of those kids who does FORTNITE dances to fucking celebrate. Anyway, onto the story. This happened at the start of the year. So near enough after Christmas, after I found my aunt throwing a bunch of drawings of characters I did for my cousin, FORTNITE, Five Nights at Freddy's, Bendy and the Ink Machine, Hello Neighbor, and that kind of stuff. That took me 3 days to draw and digitalize and print. When I was relaxing with Film Comics Explained, go watch him. He explains characters, monsters, viruses. Talking in my ear about parody viruses when the Slag and my cousin decided to walk in. Cousin had his controller and sat next to me, just as the black slug thing slithered up Stevie's body, up into his skin and into his eyes. Cousin found it cool, and didn't say anything cause he knows how interesting I find viruses. He has gotten better since the toy helicopter incident. My entitled aunt didn't think so. Entitled aunt? What the heck are you showing him? Me? Hi, entitled aunt. I take it you need me to babysit? Entitled aunt? I did, but now I don't cause you're watching some cult shit. Me? It's an educational video explaining the parody virus from the X-File you were into when you got pissed at the Buffy reboot. No joke, she got pissed cause apparently Buffy is a black woman now. At this time, the video finished and poof, Mr. Chuckletooth pops up. Me sing the video a lot, mumble along with the little rhyme. Me, Mr. Chuckletooth, happy as can be. Oh, Mr. Chuckletooth, can you play with me? Entitled aunt, are you trying to curse me? Mother dear is pagan. Me? No, I was saying the rhyme for Mr. Chuckletooth. Entitled aunt, this is horrible, put on some FORTNITE. Me? No, why would I do that? Entitled aunt, cause cousin loves FORTNITE. Me? Well, he seems interested in that. Entitled aunt, I will not have my son become a devil worshipper. I don't say shit, but ask cousin if he wants to watch a video about the flesh-eating virus from cabin fever. He says yeah. Entitled aunt stays quiet until the little bit plays about the first infected we see lock themselves in the car and throw up blood everywhere. The best scene in the movie, to be honest. As a joke, cousin asked me, cousin, is this why you're addicted to antibacterial stuff? Me? Kinda. Do you know how many people cough and sneeze into their hands and brush up against you? And oh boy, here she comes. Entitled aunt, you have an addiction? Me? It's basically hand sanitizer, in gel and wipe form. And may I remind you that you were the one that made me like this in the first place with all your diseases can spread by touch, and that I can catch cancer from patients? She told me that I couldn't go near my mom after she beat ovarian cancer until she was cured, cause I'll catch it. I was about 10. I didn't understand anything about cancer other than if you get it, it can kill you if not treated. Again, entitled aunt stays quiet. So I don't hear her walk into my room until I hear my window open. So off I run to my room to see her pouring my hand wash out the window and throw my wipes with it. Now they were cheap, but in order not to worry my mom, I had to keep them on a low. And I lose my shit. Me, what the fuck are you doing? Entitled aunt, getting rid of your addiction. Me, it's not an addiction, it's a habit that I had for 8 years that you caused. I was tempted to shove her out of the fucking window after she said this. Entitled aunt, well, maybe you and your brother should have listened to me. If you did, maybe he wouldn't be so weak all the time. I lost it. I broke down. Reason, I have another habit that isn't healthy. I blame myself for not being a good enough brother. I didn't realize that my brother was depressed until I saw the cuts, and I didn't notice how ill he was until I was phoning the ambulance with him on the floor, barely breathing and unconscious. Entitled Aunt left, my room a mess, and the neighbors on the ladder asking if I was okay. They were installing a camera on the other side of the garden. Cousin helped me get back together, and we went to town and bought more disinfectant. I'm not the kind of person to wish harm on anyone, but I really hope my aunt's recently operated foot gets infected. Entitled Cousin tries to destroy my VR set and calls me a disgrace. So you will need to know a bit of context for this. Ever since I was a kid, I've been fascinated with the idea of virtual worlds, mainly because a childish wonder that evolved in sort of sad feelings about actual reality. And now it's a mix of both culminate in my found goal of becoming a VR developer. Also, my youngest cousin, some 5 or 6, admires me since I'm the only adult that actually plays with him instead of ignoring him and saying, yeah, you are doing fine. This turned with the kid adopting many of my ways. He likes RPG video games, tabletop RPG, thinks logically, likes math, started reading about space, and, as you may guess, starting to get a liking for VR, since I lend him my headset when he comes home, and I need to work in my project. Also, I'm in my last year of university. That means I'm doing a big project that has to be done by December, with weekly revision and tests, making me a bit very stressed. Goddamn PHP, connect to the fucking database already. I'm the admin of the laptop. I have powers. Obey me, you computerized slave. Also, I decided to test myself, and as a side project, I'm making a VR apartment to basically chill, watch videos, etc. See if I have it in me to be a VR developer. Now, onto the story. EC, entitled Cousin, mother of LK, lovable kid. As usual, my dad makes a Sunday BBQ and my mom invites the family. That means my grandma, an uncle, father of entitled cousin, a cousin with cousin, and sometimes entitled cousin's sister. And I'm already used for my uncle to bring lovable kid, so I put all the dangerous and lewd objects from my room and computer away and start compiling what I have from my VR app. Compile is what you run a code to see if it's working or not, to my phone. The kid tested it and I started it, and he is clearly excited to see my progress. As usual, the family arrives and lovable kid runs towards me and hugs me. Me? Woohoo! Lovable kid, calm down, I haven't slept in a while. Lovable kid, hi uncle. Since he is the son of my cousin, I'm technically his uncle. Entitled cousin, hi Anon. Me? Oh, hi entitled cousin, glad to see you. Now, I don't hate her, but I'm worried when she is around. She is kind of a social justice warrior that will fight against anything. Oh boy, she's one of those. And she hates the 3 aunts of the family, being my mom and her 2 sisters for something that happened over 8 years ago. And heck, my mom wasn't even part of it. Knowing that something would spark, and I don't want lovable kid to deal with it, I grab some chips, soda, juice for him, and we both go to my room. The kid says, we gotta play Mario Kart, and the guy with the arm cannon, Mega Man, and the guy that shoots beams, Dragon Ball Fighter Z, and read your comics. Fuck, my heart melts with his innocence. He sees my phone connected to my laptop and my VR set at the side. Lovable kid, are you gonna work on your game? Me, nah, finished an hour ago. You know my computer is slow. Oh, look, it has already finished loading. Wanna see? Lovable kid, uh-huh. He ran downstairs, a shrug, and opened up a university project. The kid comes up with entitled cousin in hand. Entitled cousin, hey, lovable kid says you're making a game, is that right? Me, actually, a VR app. I tell him it's a game. Entitled cousin, virtual reality. Me, yeah. Entitled cousin, how dare. Me, excuse me. Entitled cousin, first you infect him with those sexist games, and now you force him into disregarding reality? Me, Entitled cousin, you know I'm right. Look, I get it. You are a brat that nags and is selfish, and that's why you hide in a screen. Not my kid, we accept reality and how beautiful it is, you know what? She takes my VR. Now, it's a simple VR box 2.0, the cheapest set in the market, and heck, is a bootleg one. But still, finding one out there in the open is pretty hard. And she's about to smash it, but I stop her arm. Me, the fuck is wrong with you? Lovable kid is right here and he is seeing you. His mom, go apeshit. Entitled cousin, he is going to live with that, you disgrace. It was bad enough for you to study computers, now you are a part of the problem. Me, What problem? No, really, what problem? What all the social justice warriors and modern single moms say in your closed circles. She leaves and goes downstairs. My dad tells her that he won't allow this manner in his house. She just shuts up and sits, playing Candy Crush on her phone and trying to barge in my mom and grandmother's conversation. I stay up with lovable kid. I try to distract him by reading him one of my comics. Rest of the day goes normal. Air's so tense you can cut it with a knife. Entitled cousin glaring at her dad for giving meat to lovable kid, etc, etc. They all leave after 7 p.m. tea. That is 9 p.m. in this part of the world, but whatever. Lovable kid, as usual, tells me my VR app is going great, and he is excited for the finished product. Guess I'll have to put game elements now. My dad asks me if I'm okay. I tell him that is not the problem, that I was expecting that to happen. Not to attempt to destroy my set, but a verbal fight. Entitled grandmother kidnapped grandson and gets busted with having child porn on her computer. I told you one of them's gonna be really horrible. So I posted a couple of my entitled parent experiences to test the waters. But this is what it has been leading up to. This is going to be a long one, so hang on. TLDR at the end. Cast, changing names for obvious reasons. Peter, my best friend of father Matt and Kaylee. Mother if Matt and Madden, son of Kaylee and Peter. Oma, Kaylee's mom. Madden's grandma Opa. Kaylee's dad, Madden's grandpa. Backstory time. Peter was 14 years old when his math tutor Kaylee, 18 years old, seduced him and they slept together. Kaylee found out she was pregnant with their son, Madden. They decided to go to their parents together and tell them that they had been sleeping together. Peter's parents were extremely upset about their relationship and decided to press charges against Kaylee for statutory rape. Kaylee was convicted and sentenced to a 2-year in jail and had to sign away her parental rights to her unborn child. Kaylee signed her rights over to Peter's parents with a condition that Peter get custody when he turns 18 as long as he is capable. Peter has been expressing extreme interest in being a father. Over the next 4 years, Peter stayed in school, out of trouble, and got in a really good college. He was given partial custody of his son, Madden, so he could focus on getting his degree and getting a good job to support his son. Aw, what a great dad. Peter ended up dropping out of college and getting a high-paying IT job and getting full custody of Madden with no problems. This upsets Oma, Kaylee's mom, who didn't think Peter deserved to be a father because he didn't drop everything in his life to raise him. She thought that since the first 5 years of Maiden's life was spent with his grandparents that Peter got off easy. Believe it or not, this is where the story starts. Fast forward to about a year ago, Peter is 22 and Madden is 8. Peter has had full custody of Madden for about 2.5 years and they have moved out of Peter's childhood home to an apartment. Now, it's important to note that Opa and Oma saw Madden all the time. They visited often and regularly had lunch all together on the weekends. They were by no means kept for their grandchild and, despite not having custody, were very much involved in his life. This was not enough for Oma though. She decided that after 8 years of this routine, she deserved more. She started coming over to Peter's apartment unannounced and using her emergency key to let herself in. She would often come by when Peter was out working and send the babysitter home. This obviously would make Peter upset, but he knew, or at least thought, that her intentions were good and that she just wanted to spend time with her grandson. Things didn't start to get suspicious until Oma started asking to have Madden on school nights with promises to pick him up after school and drop him off in the morning. After weeks of pestering, Peter finally gave in since he didn't see a reason why it would be too much of a problem and told her that she could have him for a school night as long as his normal bedtime was in place. Oma agreed and Madden packed an overnight bag along with his book bag for school. The real trouble started when Peter was waiting at the bus stop for Madden to come home the next day. He stood waiting with the other parents and when the bus finally came, no Madden. He asked the bus driver and he looked up and down the aisle, but he just wasn't on the bus. Peter called the school and his heart sank. Madden hadn't been at school that day. Peter immediately called Oma and she responded with a simple, "Oma? Oh, we decided to take him on a road trip since it's Friday and all. We can have him for the next couple nights, right?" Peter, "No, you promised you would take him to school and you didn't. I certainly don't want him spending 2 more nights with you if I can't trust you to do something as simple as drive him to school." Oma, "Well, you should have called the school this morning if you were so worried about it." Peter, "No, you should have taken him to school like you said you would. Where are you anyway?" Oma, "We're in insert city name that's about 6-hour drive away." Peter, "Are you kidding me? Bring my son back home now." Oma, But we're having so much fun. Peter, I don't care. Bring him home or I will get the police involved. This is kidnapping, you know. Oma. Fine. Now talking to Madden. Sorry, sweetie. Daddy doesn't want you to go to the amusement park. He's no fun, isn't he? Peter. Excuse me, Before he could finish, Oma had hung up the phone. Peter waited and waited and waited. There was no sign of Oma or of his son. He paced the floor for hours and called dozens of times. After hours of waiting, he called the police and reported Maiden kidnapped. The police stopped by and Peter told them everything. They told him they would send word to the cities and counties along the route home. Finally, after another 2 hours of waiting, Maiden and Oma busted in the door. Peter, where have you been? Oma, oh, calm down. We decided to see some sights on the way home. Peter, calm down. You took my son 6 hours away without telling me and then didn't answer your phone. It's almost 3 in the morning. He told Maiden to go get ready for bed, assuring him that he wasn't upset with him. Maiden did what he was told. Oma, what's your problem? He's my grandson, my flesh and blood. Kaylee would never do this to me. She would have let me take him for the weekend. This was a common thing for her, talking about how much better of a parent her daughter would have been than Peter. Peter, we are not talking about Kaylee. We're talking about you taking my son and leaving the city without telling me. That's not okay. This argument went on for a few minutes before Peter kicked her out and called the police back to let them know that Maiden was home and that Oma was heading back to her house where a police car was waiting for her. Oma and Opa were arrested for kidnapping. They gave their statements to the cop and it came out that Opa had no idea they didn't have permission. He stated that Oma had told him that they were taking him for the weekend, and Peter said it was okay. Oma, on the other hand, gave the most arrogant, idiotic statement confession possible. Oma, if Peter were a better father, he would have called the school in the morning to make sure Maiden got there. He was just asking for his son to get kidnapped at this point. But hey, he's a guy. We all know that the mother is the better parent in almost every situation. It's such a shame we didn't get to take him back to his mom. He would have been so much happier, and besides, it's not like I have anything in my house that could hurt Maiden. Which what? Opa was let go and taken him by some detectives. Opa gave them permission to search the house and computer because of his wife's statement. They found an external hard drive in Oma's things and plugged it into the computer. On the hard drive was hundreds and hundreds of child pornography images and videos. Opa was appalled. The detectives took the new evidence to the cops, and since the hard drive had Oma's name on it, and has several images with a watermark of her name, she had taken some of the images. They knew they had her. Oma was convicted of kidnapping and over 300 counts of possession and distribution of child pornography. She is currently serving a very long prison sentence. Opa's divorce lawyer said that it was the fastest divorce he had ever been a part of. It came out later that Oma had molested Kaylee when she was younger and told her that sexual relationships between adults and children were normal. She couldn't be prosecuted for that because it happened so long ago, but she was already being put on sex offender register. Maiden ended up meeting Kaylee and her new family, fiance, and 2 younger daughters. Upon seeing his mother for the first time, Maiden burst into tears and proclaimed, "I have the prettiest mommy ever!" They are now a big happy family and have been living happily ever since. I sure love happy endings. Anyways, be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't. I'll be back tomorrow with more reads. See ya guys. Mwah.